our annual summer event. It's our pleasure to once again welcome over 20 of our international partners from around the globe. The aim of this event is to meet with offer holders and new applicants in hopes of working together on conversion. We're honored today to host our special guest and patronage of this event, His Excellency Dr. Talal Abu-Ghazaleh, Chairman of Talal Abu-Ghazaleh Global. Mr. Talal held several past leadership roles alongside an engaging career with business-related international development organizations and forward-thinking business projects in the Arab world. I'm pleased to introduce our chairman, His Excellency Professor Nidal Qatami.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to initially welcome, of course, our godfather, Talal Abu-Ghazaleh, and we'll be talking about his credentials in a little bit. But first, I'd like to welcome everyone from our partners who have troubled themselves to travel to Jordan. We're very lucky today to conduct probably something like 112 major exhibitions that have taken place in Jordan since 1996. This is an institution, which is international, that has started to bridge the gap in education in Jordan, and also its sister company, Global Vision, where it has also established about 10 offices in the globe, all over the Middle East. Over the past 23 years, we managed to recruit at least 20,000+ students who have actually now concluded their education, and they are playing key figures in government and private sectors all over the Middle East. This is all due to the excellence of the education that we have received from our partners, from the UK, from also other countries, that we are proud to have you here today to help us bridge the gap and also bridge the education between Jordan and the Western world. Jordan has had a lot of difficulties over the past. We are extremely lucky and happy to have His Majesty all the time pushing towards education as the only means for development, success, and the build of the human resources. His efforts have been engaged tremendously all over Jordan and also the Middle East, and have resulted in us being able to communicate with you, to have you here with us, to bridge such education, which obviously is the only way forward towards the newly established sciences of the fourth industrial revolution that we all are trying to be engaged with. I am, as an ex-Minister of Labour, very concerned actually about the education graduated and the graduates, and I do believe that education has to provide the skills for graduates that would enable them immediately to gently, smoothly move into the labor market. The unemployment figures in the Middle East are very high. In Jordan, they're extremely high. And therefore, education by itself is not going to be enough. That's why I can see a lot of universities have moved already into education plus certification, where the mapping has taken place between the certifications that would lead you to have skills that would definitely improve your abilities to be able to immediately enter into labor markets, which obviously ultimately would increase the abilities for you to find jobs, and that is how the countries would increase their GNPs and so forth. Now, on this front, I have seen a lot of courses from within the participants that we are gladly having today, that they have moved into this. Particularly some of the UK universities are allowing students to go into established courses and have internships and have the major practicalities that are within the concept of something similar to vocational, plus the fact that they are graduating with some education. So this is our concern at this point of time in Jordan and also in the Middle East as a whole. I'm not going to talk a lot about this issue. I'm sure that you will be having a great time with our students. We've done enough marketing for you to be able to see the selected audience, which mostly are very interested in moving their education, whether it's undergraduate, postgraduate, or even further. And also, this is an opportunity for you to be identify certain academic institutions that you will be seeing big bosses of here, similar to we have here with us the president of the Abu-Ghazaleh University College for Innovation, which is the first of its kind worldwide. And we're happy to have Dr. Benihani with us, who hopefully will be able to talk to you to see how we could actually move towards a closer relationship in terms of joint programs if you wish to. On a slightly note, I'd like to talk always about Jordan, your tourists, and I would like to exercise my post as Minister of Tourism and let you know that Jordan, we're blessed to be in Jordan, and we're blessed to have the historical tracks of all civilizations. For you who have not seen the history or the archaeological sites of Jordan, I'd like to give you a brief of 2 minutes to let you know that all the prophets, if not most of them, I would say, have either born or died or passed through Jordan. All religions started in this area. We have had 5 civilizations, 5 emperors, 5 kingdoms. Man started being documented from being a hunter to a settler as a farmer, first in Jericho and in Amman, in a place called Ghazal. We have had civilizations that are marked, ruins, archaeological sites that have all been documented in UNESCO, and without exaggeration, the amount of the Greeks, ruins, and whatever they have left over, or whatever also we have seen on the top of the surface of the planet in Jordan, because most of it is still under the barrel. Greeks who had spent here 450 years in Jordan, the Romans, the Byzantines, the Ottomans, the Turks, and the Muslims, they all have left a number of documented archaeological sites in Jordan, almost equivalent to whatever is available in the rest of the world. This is a truly holy site. This is Trans-Jordan and has been since history. We always are proud of it. Of course, we always remember that Christianity broke out in Jordan. The baptism site is a well-known documented location with its associated 5 most important pilgrimage Christian sites that are documented in the Vatican are in Jordan. So basically, you have an open museum. I hope that you will be able to have some time to a little bit of visits wherever you can. I thought this is important for you, particularly for those who I haven't seen before. Now, I'd like to move on to our guest of honor, Professor Talal Abu-Ghazaleh. He's a prominent figure in education, in training, in intellectual property, in the Arabian Peninsula, and in fact, all over the world. He is a senator of the Upper House of Lords. He has established more than 140 offices worldwide, all of which are considered the most prestigious in legal services, in training, accounting, in auditing, and we consider him the godfather of the Arab accounting. And actually, he is the godfather of the world intellectual property. We are very honored to have him with us. And the most important, latest innovation that he has done is the establishment of the Abu-Ghazaleh University College for Innovation, which is at the center of Amman. It's running a lot of programs, very prestigious, and we are counting on His Excellence to actually move the education as a whole forward. And everyone in Jordan is aware of his abilities, history, and the future prospects. He's very stubborn when it comes to arguing over his intellectual properties and over his historical records. And he insists on not being introduced except in one word. He would like to be introduced as a knowledge worker. Dr. Abu-Ghazaleh, we are very honored to have you. I would like to give you the floor for a few minutes. Thank you.
Privilege and honor for me to address you today. First, because it's education. And second, because I'm the guest of His Excellency Dr. Talal Abu-Ghazaleh, who is not just a friend, he's more than a friend. He's a person that is a model in this country. As a minister, former minister, he led his ministry with integrity and competence, and in what he is doing for Jordan in the field of education. I cannot put you on top of education. Let me rank you as next to education. Education is above all of us and is above everything. I am a refugee who learned the value of education and who decided to make his mission one mission. I had one mission as a young child thrown out of his country to prove to the world that we deserve to be recognized in this world. And when in 2001 I was elected to chair the United Nations Information and Telecommunication Task Force that forged the policies for everything you use now in technology, laptops, mobiles, etc. I was selected to chair it in my personal capacity. I asked to speak, and it was a technical meeting, it was not a political meeting, so Kofi Annan said there are no speeches in these technical meetings. We have an agenda, and there is no speeches on that. I said, I want just to say thank you. He said, okay. I said, I want to thank you for electing me, and the audience was 32 governments, representatives, including all the major governments of the world. Number two, the major technology companies, because it was ICT, United Nations system, other international organizations, and civil society. We were a group of 52 persons representing the global stakeholders. I said, thank you for electing me to be your chairman, knowing that I am a Palestinian, a Jordanian, an Arab, and a Muslim. Thank you. That was my entire speech. There was silence. They were taken by surprise. They have elected a 4 times criminal. And it was on November 2001, 2 months after the World Trade Center was attacked. And they elected a person who represents the 4 criminals, the Palestinians, the Jordanians, the Muslims, and the Arabs. Some 10 seconds of silence, and there speaks out the American ambassador, David Gross, who is the worldwide ambassador on ICT of the United States of America. And he started clapping, and everybody clapped. I then felt that part of my mission was achieved by this recognition to chair one of the most important task forces. Why do I mention this story? Because for me, education is ICT. Whatever you study, please make it ICT based. There is no place in the future for any industry, any profession, any service, which is not ICT based. Even if you think that you're studying culture or literature, or it's all ICT, because you cannot access. In future, there will be no books. I'm writing an article. I have a syndicated article every first of the month on a subject. My next, after this month, article will be on the education in the future. Education in the future, there will be no books. Absolutely, no books. you will not find a book. So whether you are a lawyer or a teacher of literature, you will have to be a knowledge worker. And that's what I am, as His Excellency, my great friend, mentioned. So please, whatever you study and wherever you study, think of yourself as a knowledge worker in the field you specialize in. Whatever that field is, that's number one. And listen to this old man. I'm 81 years old. I gathered experience all over the world. I spent my life studying, and I'm a student, like many of you. I am a life student. Number one, go for a university and for an education which is ICT based. Number two, unfortunately, I was graduated to look for a job, because that was many years, certainly before all of you were born. I graduated in 1960. And the only reason I went to university was because I needed a job to help my family. I had an old father who was thrown out of his empire in Palestine, so I needed a job that can help me support a family. That was the only reason I went to university. Not anymore. That has changed. Universities and studies at universities should not be in order to pass an exam and take a certificate or a diploma which helps you find a job. It's not good anymore. You should go to universities to become an innovator. Wherever you go, I'm not changing the world system of education, which it will change itself. In 10 years, we will be looking at a different paradigm completely. But even with the current system as it is worldwide, you should aim that in your university study, that you are there because you want to become an inventor, an innovator in whatever field. Because innovation has no limits. It's not just inventing a new satellite or inventing a new technology. Anything in life is invention, is subject, and is a means for invention. When I started Talal Abu-Ghazaleh intellectual property, it was an invention. There were, for the last 200 years, law firms that practiced intellectual property protection. But I didn't build a firm similar to them. I decided to be an innovator. How? I called on a person who was an ICT expert. He never heard the word IP, intellectual property. And he still heads this operation. I said, Charles, I want you to build an ICT firm that provides intellectual property services. So Talal Abu-Ghazaleh Intellectual Property is an IT firm. Its products are intellectual property services. And this is unique in the world. There is no firm in the world, including the US, Europe, etc. And that's why we became the global leader. Because my client in Tokyo or in Chicago, while we are sleeping, can access his file, seek any information he wants on his application, leave instructions or get answers to instructions from a program. This way we save time differences, weekends, and the 7 days for us are real time. We're unique in this in the world. All other competitors still use email, fax, telex, whatever. By being innovators, we became the global leaders. So innovation, I'm trying to say, I'm not telling you that you have to invent something new like a chair which flies. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what Mohammed bin Rashid in Dubai said. A year ago, he said the year end is approaching on his Twitter. And any officer or director in any department in Dubai who did not innovate in his department, we will be preparing farewell dinners for him. So innovation is in anything you do. It's not in just being like we think that an inventor is somebody in a closed room trying to discover something which has not been discovered. Innovation is any change in an existing process, product, or service which makes it better and more commercial. Innovation. Any innovation is an invention. So when you go to study, please keep in mind that you are developing there your knowledge and capability to become an inventor, not to get a degree only. Go ahead, get degrees from great schools. And you have the master, His Excellency Qatamin, to help you in seeking the best school for you worldwide. But go there to become an inventor, an innovator, not to study and have a degree. The object of education should become to produce inventors and not to produce job seekers. And this is the motto of our college here in Amman, which is again unique in the world. It's a completely different model. A student does not graduate unless he comes up with an invention, not by an exam, by an invention. One invention, Amazon. What is Amazon? What is Apple? What is Facebook? What are all these companies whose value today, each of them is 1 trillion? Trillion is 1,000 billion. And billion is 1,000 million. I cannot even count it in my mind. How did they become 1 trillion companies? Computer program. Amazon is nothing more than there are no products that they sell. There are no, what is Google? It's a search engine, it's a program. There is no engine, machine. It's an ICT engine. Google, 1 trillion value, and it's getting closer to more than that, is only an invention, a computer program. One inventor in Jordan can one day become 10 or 20 or 100 times the GDP of Jordan, because that's what these companies are. Any one of them is larger than 20 countries, an invention. And that's not difficult. Who invented Yahoo? 2 graduates sitting in a room, looking for a job, sending applications to work. They worked on their computers and invented Yahoo. No funding, no government support, no resources, no investment in anything, just a program. So my second advice is aim to study, to graduate, to become an inventor, and employ others. Elon Musk said, I did not graduate from Harvard. He did not even complete his studies. He's one of those dropouts like Bill Gates who did not finish university. And I'm not encouraging you not to go to university, but I'm telling you that he says, I am not a graduate from Harvard, but I have many Harvard graduates working for me. This is the importance of invention, importance of innovation. and anybody can be an inventor. You can decide what you want to be. And I love this country, and I love you, and I love the people in Jordan, and I love for one person out of this group, one. If one person believes that Talal is not an idiot, and that what he's saying is probably right, and decides to become an inventor, I would be very happy. Just one of you. That's enough, because that's more than the GDP of the region, if you become a 1 trillion company. So, it is very important that you decide that you take ICT-based studies. Number 2, that you decide to become an inventor. Finally, my third point, study and try to, although you may not like it, the sciences of the future. Please, don't be like me. I studied the sciences of the past when I graduated with distinction from the American University of Beirut. It was a great school, but at that time there were no sciences of the future. The sciences of the future are there now. And even if you want to decide on studying something which is not to specialize, which doesn't make the sciences of the future your specialty, take it as an elective course. The studies of the future, I'm talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, cybersecurity, because you will need them in anything you do in life. Please, please study sciences of the future. I don't remember a word of what I studied in my 4 years at AUB. They taught us what is the highest mountain in geography courses, what is the longest river, and etc., etc. I forgot all of that. Yet, I decided to be a student after I left the university. And I am still, if you ask me, I am a natural student. I'm a student, a perpetual student in the field of knowledge. I am a knowledge worker. Please remember these 3 things. Go to ICT-based studies. I repeat, and I'm boring you, I know, but it's my duty to bore you. Take ICT-based studies. Decide to be an inventor. Study sciences of the future. Physics, mathematics, algorithm. Remember that when you talk about algorithm was invented by an Arab, Al-Khwarizmi. We can be, and we should be, and we will be the leaders of knowledge in the future. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm proud to be with you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your words of encouragement.